There is a lot of delicious food in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And who doesn't like a little friendly competition? Much of the food in Lancaster County is Pennsylvania Dutch style food, but there are also many other types of fresh and diverse food there as well. So hopefully this 2022 Top 10 will give you some ideas of foods you can try in 2023. Welcome everybody to this delightfully delicious video. This is one of my favorite videos to make each year, so I'm excited about it. I'm hoping you enjoy it too. Just to be clear, this is not an ultimate top 10 best foods of every single place in Lancaster. This is just my picks for the best foods I tried this year in 2022, so that hopefully you can try them in 2023. I try not to have the same food on the list each year, but I will say there are two honorable mentions that just have to be talked about because they are so delicious. So first is the soft pretzel from the Countryside Road stand in Ronks. It is a delicious soft pretzel. I've taken dozens of people there over the past 5 to 8 years since I've discovered them, and everybody agrees they just are so delicious. So definitely try one of those. The second would be the peanut butter pie from Diener's Country Restaurant. If you love peanut butter pie, they make the very best there. So two foods that are not on the list technically because I've listed them in other years, but want to definitely tell you guys to try them if you have not tried them yet. One more thing before we get to the top 10, I have what I call a fancy food recommendation. So because it is a fancy restaurant, because it's kind of more of a special occasion place, I'm not putting the food on the list today, but I do want to recommend this place if you have a special occasion upcoming this next year that you might want to spend a little more money on to celebrate. We went to the Log Cabin in Leola for our anniversary celebration this past summer, and it was exceptional. First of all, there's some really, really cool history to this place, and the building itself is very old. I will be doing a video on that place eventually, but for now, I'm going to tell you the foods that stood out to me that evening. The entire evening was delicious. Everything was good, but a couple things that stood out that were different that were extremely good. One was called the New England Shellfish and Sweet Corn Chowder. It was a soup. It was really, really good and different, kind of a combination of two different kinds of soup. Very creamy and rich and delicious. The next thing was just the bread, which sounds funny, but the bread was really, really good there. My wine that I got, I'm not a big wine drinker. I have like two that I like, and I got the White Zinfandel, and it was really good. Like, it went down very quickly, very smooth. And the last thing I have to tell you about, which was, for me, was over the top, was the sticky toffee pudding. It was like toffee bread pudding with this like orange candied slice on top and some cream. It was super, super decadent and super, super delicious. So highly recommend for a special occasion. We start off with number 10, and that is Pappy's Kettle Corn in the Kitchen Kettle Village. So let me preface this by saying I'm not a huge popcorn snacker. It's not one of my go-to snacks. That being said, I will be getting Pappy's Kettle Corn every time I go to Lancaster from now on. I've had it before, but it's been years, but just that day we had it. It was, I mean, they really make it there right in front of you fresh in their humongous kettle, and it is delicious. You know, kettle corn style has a slightly sweet and a slightly salty combo that really is the best of both worlds. So highly recommended, especially if you like kettle corn. There is none fresher than Pappy's. Next at number 9 is a common dessert in Lancaster County, but I think made differently by everybody who makes them. Kind of like when we all make chocolate chip cookies, we all make it like with our own little flair. I'm talking about Whoopie Pies, and specifically for this list this year, it's the mini Whoopie Pies from the Stoltzfus Meats Market. So I tried theirs for the first time this year, not expecting too much because they kind of focus on meat and cheese, but I was delightfully surprised at how good they were, and I am actually quite picky about Whoopie Pies, and I don't feel that way about many. There's probably like 3 or 4 I really like in Lancaster, and this is now on the list. It was very delicious. So, in case you didn't know, besides a lot of terrific meats and cheeses, Stoltzfus also has excellent mini Whoopie Pies. So coming in at number 8 is kind of a different kind of food in a way. So it's actually the making your own sundae at the Taste Lab in the Turkey Hill experience. So the Taste Lab is an extra experience you pay for in addition to the regular admission costs, but I'm telling you, it is worth it, even to just do it one time. At the Taste Lab, they give you a very large cup of soft ice cream, probably close to 16 ounces around there. And then you get instructions of how to do it, but you get to flavor it, you get to add toppings and sauces, and it ends up being a very, very large sundae. It was just a really fun thing to do. Turkey Hill is a great company. They're very local. I grew up with them in York. It's a really, really fun thing to do, especially with family. And word of warning, you get so much ice cream here. You get a ton of free samples in the regular experience, just the regular tour. Lots, like as much as you want, really. and then you go down here to the Taste Lab and have this enormous sundae. So we were not prepared for that. I actually could not finish everything, which is shocking for me. But you might want to have like some sort of healthy baseline before you go there so you don't feel so incredibly full and kind of overdone with sugar. But it's so fun to just kind of plan accordingly to your food capacities. Next at number 7 was a pleasant surprise for me this year. It's the ham balls at Shady Maple. So I've been to Shady Maple dozens of times and I get a lot of their food, and I've never really been impressed with their ham balls because the sauce was always too thick and just not very tasty. But this year I'm pretty sure they changed their sauce because it was a very lighter, thinner version of the sauce and it was very delicious. Just the right amount of sweetness. You know, for those who know, it's kind of like a pineapple sauce they put on top of these ham balls. Ham balls were like meatballs, but they're made of ground pork and smoked ham. One of my favorite things to eat in Lancaster. And now I'm happy to say that Shady Maple has some really good ham balls. So good surprise for me this year, and one of my top choices now to eat ham balls if it stays the same in Lancaster. Okay, so at number 6 is something that I was really amazed at when I ate it, but it's also something that's only offered once a year at the Lititz Chocolate Walk. So I know it seems strange to put it on this list, but it was so delicious. And just a plug for me to tell you to go this chocolate walk because it's amazing. It was the chili made with chocolate, which by the way you could not taste. It just tasted like excellent chili with a secret ingredient. It was made by Hidden Still Spirits. Hidden Still Spirits is an award-winning craft distillery and restaurant in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So obviously this was on the chocolate walk, but I have good news for you. They have a really amazing menu at the restaurant, which includes a chili with brisket. And I'm guessing it's just as delicious as what I had this day at the chocolate walk. In fact, their menu looks quite amazing and very eclectic, very fresh. So a lot of variety here, and I think definitely worth a trip to Hershey. And of course, it's never a bad idea to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania. So all that to say, yes, the chili with chocolate was my pick for this slot on my top 10, but I feel like it's a good recommendation for all of us to go try this place over in Hershey. We are now to the top 5 foods I'm going to recommend. At number 5 are the dark chocolate, or milk if you prefer, peanut butter Meltaways from Wilbur Chocolate. Good grief, it literally felt like they just came out of their kitchen. They were extremely fresh. The chocolate was rich and a perfect complement to the smooth peanut butter. And if you aren't into chocolate and peanut butter, which I really don't understand, but if you're not, there are plenty of other choices of chocolate to choose from at Wilbur Chocolates. They have a store in Lititz, and they are all wonderful and fresh. Lots of variety of chocolate there. And it smells really good in there, by the way. And even more of a bonus, they have a viewing kitchen, so you can actually watch them make their chocolate magic. Okay, coming in at number 4 is the chicken salad sandwich with cranberry orange marmalade at the Harvest Cafe in Kitchen Kettle Village. It is listed as a customer favorite, and now I know why. I love a good chicken salad sandwich, and theirs was definitely delicious. But what put this over the top was their very fresh bread, first of all, and that amazing cranberry orange marmalade. It was like a good combination of cranberry and orange. It wasn't too overwhelming on either flavor, just the perfect combination and great texture. Didn't drip too fast. It was kind of sticking onto the sandwich for the most part. A perfect lunch for the palate for sure. And they have a lot of other food at the cafe, and they make it all fresh there, so it's very delicious. And bonus, the staff are super friendly and courteous, and they keep the place very, very clean, which I really appreciate. At number 3 is the peanut butter swirl ice cream at Lapp Valley Farm, also at Lapp Valley Creamery and Cafe. There's 2 different locations right now, but they're going to close the original, which is the farm, for the public use, and just keep the new Creamery and Cafe open. But back to the ice cream. So I know I say I love Lancaster food a lot, but I can honestly tell you this is the best peanut butter ice cream I have ever had, and I've had a lot of ice cream from all over this grand country, from coast to coast actually. But I'll tell you what, half of my cone was peanut butter chunks, which is why I loved it. It was filled with chunks of peanut butter, but perfectly textured, not too hard, not too soft, and just very delicious. No one else is going to be as generous with their peanut butter as Lapp Valley Farm, I'm convinced. And then there's the ice cream part of the dish. So if you don't know, Lapp Valley Farm only uses Jersey cows to make their ice cream. Well, Jersey cows produce a higher cream content in their milk, so it makes very creamy ice cream, and it is very delicious and a perfect complement to the peanut butter. It's not too sweet. You know, I want to taste the milk and the cream in my ice cream and not a lot of sugar, so I like the way they have this balance between creamy and sweet and the peanut butter. Very, very delicious. Okay, coming at number 2 is my salad soup combo I had at the Speckled Hen Cafe in Strasburg. This is my first visit to this extremely pleasant cafe, and I was very, very impressed with them. Their food is self-described as fresh, simple, and local. Their atmosphere is clean, warm, and welcoming. The staff was kind and courteous, and the food was exceptionally fresh. They grow their lettuce using the hydroponic method, which involves water, and I don't know how to explain this on here. You can look it up, but it must be a very effective method because the lettuce in my salad was unquestionably perfect lettuce. I know this sounds kind of weird, but it was crisp and fresh and not bitter at all or not wilted. Just perfectly prepared lettuce. Definitely one of my top 3 freshest salads I've ever had, and it may surprise you to know that I actually do love salad. I just also love dessert. It was truly a lovely experience that day at the cafe. My friends and I enjoyed their food and their coffee. It was clean and had these huge windows that allowed you to look on Main Street in Strasburg and see people and cars and buggies go by, and it was just such a lovely atmosphere. Very charming place to be. Okay, we are at the number 1 spot, and hopefully you will not get mad at me because it's another food item from the Chocolate Walk in Lititz. But I'm telling you, it was insanely outstanding, and honestly, I did not think it was going to be good before I tried it. But man, was I wrong. So without further ado, the number 1 spot is the chocolate sandwich from stop number 12 on the Lititz Chocolate Walk. So stop number 12 on the walk was at Cherry Acres, and it's a reclaimed barnwood furniture store. Beautiful furniture. Loved walking in that store. It was my favorite store of the day, actually. And Chef Tim Whitmire of Scooter's Restaurant and Bar was the one preparing this chocolate sandwich, which he did right in front of you. He had his own grill. He had some batter for the bread, and he kind of grilled it like a grilled cheese sandwich, but it was like a grilled chocolate sandwich. And it was delicious. It was like a cross between grilled French toast, a panini, and delectable chocolate. It's so good. And they grilled it right in front of you, so it was literally warm and satiating when they gave it to you. Just really, really good. I have limited pictures of this chocolate walk because I was really just kind of being in the moment with my friends and trying to just take in the first experience of the chocolate walk. But highly recommend trying this chocolate walk. It's so, so fun and so delicious and a beautiful town. The good news is, even though this was at the chocolate walk, the chef is a chef at Scooter's Restaurant, so another place you can try. Okay, so I feel like I have like super awesome breaking news. I rode to Scooter's Restaurant and inquired about possibly requesting this chocolate sandwich at the restaurant or ahead of time or something, and they wrote back and said that they actually offered that chocolate sandwich on New Year's Eve, Valentine's weekend, and Mother's Day. So if you can go this next year on those holidays, I highly recommend it. And if I'm in Lancaster at that time, I definitely will be trying it. So super awesome news that we can actually get this sandwich at Scooter's Restaurant on 3 holidays during the year, besides the chocolate walk. So thank you, Scooters. Okay, so that wraps up our top 10 foods of 2022. Hopefully you can go try some in 2023. A pretty fun and varied list. We have snacks, we have salad, we have desserts, we have chocolate, we have ice cream, we have dinner, we have lunch. So hopefully something that entices you to try something new and some new places to try for next year. So again, thanks for watching and thanks for supporting the channel. Like and subscribe if you have not, and join this Lancaster loving community. And I hope 2023 is a great year for all of us, and hopefully lots of visits to Lancaster.